Hi everyone, this is Darren from Simnation. Just continuing on the Zero to Hero. Training camp has now run, and we're right before week one. So this video is going to really focus on my game planning for week one, where I will take on UNLV, who I know next to nothing about. I will have to look. Normally, you can use this screen to look at it. What I'm going to end up having to do is kind of go over here and take a look at UNLV, but um, so the first thing is kind of always know your opponent. Um, if I can find them, and this is there we go. So I don't know anything about the depth chart. I don't know who's going to be starting, and I'm only going to know some basics. Generally, from what I remember about UNLV from last season, they like to throw the ball. They are a short to medium passing game, from what I remember of them. And again, it can change because CPU does. They do have some decent players, as you can see. They've got good pass blockers. I'm gonna have to account for that. Only one of the guys is really, really strong. Tackle wise, again, they have good blockers all around. So I'm gonna struggle a little bit with Appalachian State, who's not the best team. I don't have to worry about a lot of speed in their tight ends because they don't have them. But they do have two fast guys in Lindsay and Jensen, so my CB1 and CB2 probably need to be a little fast. Quarterback wise, they don't have much depth and they definitely don't have speed, so I should be able to get past them relatively easy. They tend to err more on the strong side than the speed side on the line, as you can see, and I'm just going through this pretty quickly. I do have to watch out for the strong safety as Chappelle is actually playing because he's actually pretty fast and he's also a good tackler, got good hands. Nobody really has great hands on defense other than D. Lee and Chappelle. So generally, I should be able to get away with a lot with them. So I'm going to go in with the auspice that I think that they're going to throw the ball a lot. And I may be wrong, and if I am, I'm going to pay for it. But just a general recap is I'm not going to run my coach's playbooks. Or actually, for the first game, I am going to run their playbooks just because I want to use that. Or I just need to import one of my playbooks and go with that. So again, for the system I'm trying to go for is vertical. On offense, I'm going to throw to running backs. I'm going to get the running backs out on the edge because I have speed. And then I'm going to try to use my wide receivers in a long passing attack to get separation and go for big plays. Um, my line is going to be focused mostly on passing. I don't have a good line from a running perspective, which is why I'm going to try to run outside more than inside. On defense, I'm gonna run a 4-3 hybrid, running 3-3-5, and probably dime packages, especially deep presses, to try to offset. I do have fast corners, fast safeties, and fast linebackers relatively. My line is a little bit undersized, so I'm gonna just have to focus on that a little bit too. So if we go into depth, we'll just set this real quick. I'm going to go with a rudimentary one for this week because I don't really need to do much else than that. Normally I would have two packages. I would have a pass package and a run package. I'm not going to do that this week, and let me just double check and make sure that there's not something weird going on. Well, yeah, we'll do that. I'm fine with that. Anyways, let's go back to depth. So my starting quarterback is going to be Lee Carl. Main reason for that is he is the best quarterback I have. I'm probably going to go with Vaughn. I'm going to go with Weems as the backup. Again, I know Weems pretty well because he was a backup quarterback at Colorado, which is one of my teams. That'll be my three deep there. Running back again, going for speed and outside running, which means that I'm going to want to have probably Major be the number one back because he has the better hands of the two. Have Alvarado be the backup. He'll see a lot of playing time more than likely. And this is in pass package, so this will be my pass package. And then again, I'll probably go with Martin as the third string back. When we look at fullbacks, again, a lot of passing plays. So Jensen is going to be the starter deal, and then I will likely go with O'Brien. I could make O'Brien the starter because he has better hands, but I'm going to try to hold off on that for now. And then, of course, Dupree will finish the three deep for me. And then we will go from there to tight end. Tight end, again, going for speed. This team is going to be built on it. So Flores is going to be the tight end. He's actually decent because he's a converted fullback. Garcia is going to be second. Again, has good hands. Boudreaux will not be the next guy. It'll be Jeter will be the backup. Tinsley will be the other backup, and then after that, I don't know that I kill, so I'll just make Phillips. And then we will do the wide receivers again. We're going for speed. Normally, I like wide receiver 1 to be probably my best overall wide receiver. Wide receiver 2 is normally my fastest. Wide receiver 3 normally is the most agile with good hands. Same with 4, but sometimes I want a speed guy in 3. So my best overall wide receiver is going to be Harlan. So we will put Bob Harlan there. My fastest wide receiver, of course, is going to be Turner, so we'll put Turner over Hill. Doherty is pretty decent, but I want an agile guy, so we're going to go with Shaw, Hill, and then after that, I can take a choice of who I want. I'm going to put Grimes Hill because I want to do that. And then I'll put Doherty as the backup to him. And then we will look again downhill, see who's got the best hands of the remaining. And we will go with Machito. And we will go with Woodward. And then that will leave, I think that's it. And then we'll just simply do Woodward across the bottom. So that should give me a pretty good passing set. I will use 4 wide receiver a lot, so Grimes will actually be on the field quite a bit. Tackles, again, I want people who can pass block first. That's the most important one. Because I'm going to run, I'm probably going to, I like running off the left side, so I'm going to probably put Lynch over Hill because he's the better of the two Michael's over there and put Lynch over Hill. Michaels is the better overall run blocker, and then he'll be backed up by Chang, and then he'll be backed up by Deal. And then I gotta hope Barnett ever sees the light of day on the field because if he does, I'm in trouble. Again, I don't focus on overall. I know a lot of people ask me about that and are trying to figure out why I don't do it. I just overall doesn't mean much to me. I care more about the person's stats. Now, again, pass blocking, because I do want to run off a certain side, I'm going to put Chong over Hill. I'm going to put Altry over Hill. I'm not going to run as often off that side. There he is. And then we will put Brennell over Hill. And then we'll put Fries over Hill. And then it doesn't really matter. At center, my centers aren't good, so it's going to be a little interesting Hill, but I'm sorry, I got Washington. I keep forgetting about him. And then Falk will be the backup, and then, of course, Nix is a converted one. So that's my initial one. So I think we're good there. Now, for this, which is really more my run package, I'm just going to copy my default and then make minor changes. So I'm going to flip Hill and put Alvarado as the starting running back and Majors as the backup. I am going to flip my fullbacks as well because I'm going to focus more on who's a better run blocker and who's got strength. Run blocking is important, but strength is too. So I'm gonna put O'Brien as the starter, and then Dupree will be the backup, and then Jensen will be the behind him. And then what I'm going to do here as well is I'm going to switch up my tight ends to focus on run blocking and strength. So as you can see, Boudreaux and Flores are two of the better run blockers. I'll probably just go with, and they're also the strongest, so we'll flip this and say this is going to be Boudreaux and Flores, and then Phillips will be on this side, followed by Tinsley, and then I will just simply put Jeter and the other guy downhill. So it'll be Jeter and Garcia. Wide receivers do the same thing. I'm focusing on who is a good blocker. So what you'll see here is Turnell, beat Grimes. Sometimes this actually works out really well where people get a break. Sometimes it doesn't because a lot of those guys are the same starters I already have. And then we'll do Shaw. And then Montgomery is just going to be across the board. I'm not going to flip my linemen because I don't like doing that. So defense, again, I'm playing a 4-3, so it's important to know I am not going to do a run versus pass on this, mostly because I don't want to bore you to death with that stuff. But um, so generally, what I want to have here is I'm going to play a stronger interior as opposed to a faster interior. But what I'm going to do is put Lay over Hill. I'm going to put Conover over there. I'm going to put Barkley Hill. The reason why I'm putting Lay on that side is this the left side, which generally goes against the right tackle, which is goes against right guard, who's a lot of times is one of the weaker ones. So if you generally know how people are going to line up, I would just always make sure that you're doing a matchup. The problem I have with this game is I have no intel. I don't know anything about what um, the other team's going to do, in this case, UNLV. So I'm just going to play my game and hope it works this round. Next game, I'll have a little bit of analytics and I can actually probably better plan this. I am going to go a little bit more because I do think that they're going to throw the ball with speedsters. So Van Winkle will probably see the light of day this game. Although the reality is I'm going to probably go with Begay. If I can find him, there he is. And Fran, Francisco. I don't know why I can't say that guy's name right. Because of Strongel. And also a little bit more agile. So we'll put, again, this is the right side. Put him over there. We'll put Van Winkle now over Hill. And then we will put Sauls Hill. And then we'll just continue down and do McKinney and Ash. It'll be a lot of people redshirting after this year. Now, linebacker, I'm going to run mostly 4-3s or two linebacker sets. So my middle linebacker two is really never going to see that. He's not going to play because I'm not going to run a lot of 3-4s. So we'll look at this. So again, I want my fastest linebackers to be outside. And people who can generally cover. So Norris will likely be on this side, and then I will put Martins on that side because those are my two fastest linebackers. I want to have my strongest guy probably in the center, and also the person who's the best tackler. As you can see, I don't have great tacklers at all. So the strongest two I have is Joel, who is decent, but I'm probably, yeah, this is not going to be fun. I may just use Yanez because Yanez is smart. So we'll put Yanez there. We're gonna put Nichols Hill. We'll put Joel Hill. Um, and then I'll just put whoever the backup is. I'm gonna put McCoy downhill because McCoy's never really going to play on the inside. And now what that leaves me with is I'll put Gallo Hill. Thought I had cut Gallo, but it's fine. There he is. Gallo will also be Hill because he's going to be the backup. We'll put Benton Hill, even though Benton's going to be the backup as well to him. Put Benton downhill, and then we'll end up with Peoples. Okay. Don't want that. So we will now do our strong safety. Again, I'm going for speed. The reality is I could play Davis over Boyle. What it's going to boil down to, no pun intended, is endurance. So Davis will get the start because he's going to be able to likely play the whole game, whereas Boyle doesn't look like he can. And again, when you pick some of these positions, also make sure you're looking at endurance. It's easy to forget it, and skill. That's kind of the tie break. So when I look at like McDaniel versus Bickford, McDaniel will get the start because he's just a little bit better. I said McDaniel, not Bickford. And then, of course, we'll do Wise as the backup. Corner, same thing. Again, I like to have my corners play a lot, so I care more about endurance. Sometimes I will pick someone who just has endurance. In this case, I don't have to worry. Now, the problem with Casper is, and bear in mind, I moved Casper, so he got a 32, so he's not horrible. But if you look at this, I don't have anyone who really has skill as a corner. Because I do have to deal with those two fast guys, I'm going to have Casper and Sawyer kind of be the two starters. I will put Tarver in Hill, put Brinkman as well. Because I have some speed, I am going to flip this to where I'm going to do the same thing Hill, that if something happens, I want them to be the backup. But in the flat, in a dime, it's okay to have slower people. So what I'm going to do is put Rigsby, and that's probably going to be Rice next. If I can find Rice. There he is. And then, of course, Guy is just going to be the dude that goes across the bottom. For whatever reason, I have a really hard time clicking today. There we go. So traditionally, what I do with backup is I just let the coach pick the backup. I don't really kill. If I do, I will normally just simply do that. Hopefully I didn't do default. Yeah, we're good. Special teams, again, kind of same thing, is I want to have the best kicker on the field. This team actually is somewhat blessed with having kickers. I don't think I really recruited that. Excuse me. In this case, Anthony needs to be the kicker. Bingham will be the backup, and then Louis will be the third stringer, if I can find him. There he is. Traditionally, I don't like my starters to be kick returners, but a lot of times what I'm looking for in a kick returner is I like having wide receivers or corners. I tend to like having speed and agility. So in this case, the kick returner 1 will be Turner. Just have to find them real quick. So it'll be Ross Turner. Kick returner 2 will be likely, just make that Shaw. And then again, it'll be Turner. And then we're kind of done with the depth chart. So strategy wise, it's okay when you first start with a team to use the coach's defense. Why is Udo's offense showing up? Was he a coach Hill? I didn't think he was. He may have been. That's weird. So we will just go with this. That's really weird. So it's okay to run with the coach's offense the first game and then just set the pass weights and set other things differently. If you have a playbook, you can import one. I wonder if I've got one that I can import. Do, do, do. Just see how. Think I have anything controversial I need to worry about? If I do, then whatever. Nope, don't have one. Yeah, we'll just start like I don't have one. So I didn't realize Udo at one point had Appalachian State, or that's weird. Anyways, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at Kalen's and just see what he's doing. I want to throw long, so I want a playbook that has that. I hate the pistol. What does Riddles look like? He uses a lot of RPOs, but he does have long passes. I'm not a big fan of RPOs, just so everyone knows, so I'm probably going to run Kalen Martin's playbook for this game, and then I'll modify. But next game, I'll find one of my teams that are similar to this and just use theirs. So we're going to switch this over to Kalen Martin. So whenever I start with a team, I should look to see what running plays he's running. But if I remember correctly, Kalen is the one that is a vertical. He's a pass heavy one. I'm going to ignore those. Actually, let's just do it this way. And then we'll go that way. That way I just let him choose. We'll change these to 40. I don't want to go heavily oval. And then on defense, again, I'm going to let Whittle choose the defense because he's actually better. Because I think, if I remember correctly, he is actually the one that has the 4-3. And we'll just run that. Game planning, I'm not going to go with whatever they want. I'm going to choose what I want. Attitude, I normally do conservative because I don't want them going for it on fourth. We'll keep normal. Passing preference, we're going to go long. We're going to go outside. Primary wide receiver, we are likely going to choose Ross Turnell. Third down back, again, choose Alvarado. Actually, I think that would be Major if I remember correctly. Then this would be Alvarado. We're going to run balanced just because I want to be able to go between the tackles with like off tackles and counters. We'll run mixed. I'm fine with that. I don't do running back by committee. Do mixed here again. My quarterback, I probably don't want him running. And then over here again, we'll do aggressive because I want to press them. We're going to go pass. We're going to choose none. I am going to pass rush and then I'm going to cover. Radio wise, I think I'm trying to remember who I made I think it was Yanez. We'll make Yanez that dude. I'm gonna do this just because it's the first week. I don't really know, and again, I don't know anything about them. Point for margin, I'll set this to 40. And we're gonna set this to 70, and we'll set this down to 80. And I'm just gonna. A lot of what I saw looked like. We'll just set medium and deal with the blitz. Formations, we already talked through that. So that's kind of how I'm going to approach this game. Is I think it's a passing team against week one. I could be dead wrong. So I'm going to guard against the pass. I'm going to make sure I use my speed to my advantage. He doesn't really have speed on defense, which I'm going to try to use that to my advantage by going long. I've got a pretty good quarterback. I'm pretty confident in that. Recruiting, I'm going to sit out a week for this one because I have 15 scholarships and I'm not going to recruit in week one. I've got to figure out some things. I am going to go to Georgia a lot. Shark may not be happy with that, but he's competing against Appalachian State. He should beat me 99% of the time on anyone. But there were a couple guys I think I saw with Maryland and others in Georgia that I'm kind of interested in. But right now, I'm just not going to worry about recruiting this week. I'll worry about next week. So I'm going to go ahead and export that team, and then we should be ready to go. And that's how I am doing the game planning for week 1. Thank you for your time. If you're interested, let me know. We do have Discord up now, and we'd love to have you in the league, and I can get you added. Week 1 again does run tonight, and hopefully this video helps you a little bit. Have a great day.